The Devlin case. The woman who survived the killer of Westford between 2007 and 2017, a man named Mark Devlin, terrorized the town of Westford, Illinois. He lured women, assaulted them, and murdered his victims in cold blood. His crimes finally came to an end thanks to the courage of one potential victim who managed to escape and call for help. On September 18, 2017, the Westford Police Department received a strange call from an unidentified woman, later referred to by investigators as Sarah. She was whispering, her voice trembling, saying she had been kidnapped and was tied up inside an abandoned house only a few steps away from her sleeping abductor. She didn't know the exact address, but she knew the house was near a laundromat on Princeton Street. The 911 call begins. 911, what's your emergency? Near the Princeton laundromat. I'm kidnapped. Can you describe the house? An old house next to the laundromat. I think it's abandoned, she whispered, because the man who kidnapped her, Mark Devlin, was only a few feet away, asleep in the next room. She said she had met him 2 months prior. He seemed calm, friendly, and completely harmless, but that was only the mask he wore. Sarah explained that Mark used a stun gun to control her, and that she had been tied up for hours, though she managed to partially free herself. But as she tried to move toward the door, she accidentally dropped the stun gun. The loud clatter woke Mark up. The call suddenly went silent. Police realized her life was seconds away from ending. The call continues. The line opened again. Her voice was shaking. Are you still there? Yes. Has moving. Please hurry. Can you reach the door? It's locked. I can see the street from the window. Please hurry. Sarah crawled toward the front door while police officers searched every house near the laundromat. Finally, she managed to open the door just enough to wave through the small gap. Officers got close enough to hear her muffled screams. Has coming. Please hurry. Within seconds, police broke down the door, rescued Sarah, and arrested Mark before he could attack her again or escape. Who was Mark Devlin? Mark was known for being calm, soft-spoken, and surprisingly good at gaining women's trust. But behind the mask was a violent and deeply troubled man. At 19, he was arrested for choking his ex-girlfriend. Years later, he stalked another woman, broke into her home, and hid under her couch for hours before attacking her. His relationships were full of jealousy, threats, and escalating violence. By his late 20s, Mark's behavior became even more unstable. He isolated himself, cut ties with family, and began targeting vulnerable women, especially those experiencing homelessness or brief relationships. His first known victim was Lisa Monroe, found dead in 2014. Authorities ruled it an overdose until Mark later confessed to killing her. In 2015, Carla Richards disappeared. Her case went cold until the day of Mark's arrest, when he led police to her remains behind a burned-down abandoned house. Sarah, the woman who turned the case around. Sarah lived in the same neighborhood where Mark often wandered. At first, he appeared kind, offering help, speaking softly, acting like a trustworthy acquaintance, until the night he lured her into the abandoned house. There his true nature emerged. He tied her up, tortured her, threatened her, deprived her of sleep, left her without food for long hours. On the second night, he fell into an unusually deep sleep, possibly from exhaustion or medication. That was her one and only chance. She reached for his phone lying beside him and made the call that saved her life. The rest. When officers entered the house, they discovered that Mark had been hiding other bodies in the building. The smell of decomposition was overwhelming, and the scene left even seasoned officers visibly shaken. The 911 operator later faced criticism for speaking too loudly and for asking repeated questions, but despite that, the call ended with Sarah rescued and a serial predator finally behind bars. If you made it all the way to the end, props to you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me what you think. And listen, if you've ever gone through something scary, weird, or just straight up disturbing, tell me your story. I read everything you guys send. Who knows, your story might be the next one featured on this channel. Stay safe out there, and keep your doors locked. It was a quiet Tuesday evening on Miller Road, the kind of evening where nothing ever happens. That is, until 17-year-old Chloe made a frantic call to 911. Her voice was trembling, barely a whisper. "Someone's following me," she said. "I'm on Miller Road, walking home from a friend's house. There's a car. It's been behind me for blocks, driving really slow." The dispatcher, trying to keep her calm, asked for a description of the car. "It's dark. I can't really tell the make or model. The headlights are off. The dispatcher assured her that help was on the way and tried to keep her on the line. He asked her to describe her surroundings, to look for street signs or house numbers. Chloe's breaths became more ragged. He's getting closer. The car stopped. I think he's getting out. A car door slammed in the background. Run, Chloe. Run to a house. Bang on the door. The dispatcher urged. You could hear the sound of her footsteps pounding on the pavement. Her breathing turning into desperate gasps. I'm trying, she cried out. Then, there was a sudden, sharp scream, followed by the sickening thud of the phone hitting the asphalt. And then, silence, just the faint, eerie sound of the wind. When police arrived on Miller Road just minutes later, the scene was unsettlingly still. There were no cars, no people. Just an empty street under the dim glow of the streetlights. They found Chloe's phone lying screen up in the middle of the road, right where the dispatcher had pinpointed her location. The call was still connected, the line open, recording the dead air. But of Chloe, there was no sign. It was as if she had vanished into thin air. An immediate search began. Officers combed the area, knocking on every door, their flashlights cutting through the darkness of backyards and alleyways. They brought in canine units. But the dogs lost the scent right at the edge of the road. Near a dense patch of woods that bordered the neighborhood, it was a dead end. The investigation kicked into high gear. Chloe was a good student, a beloved daughter, with no history of running away. Her friends and family were devastated. Unable to comprehend what had happened, detectives analyzed the 911 recording over and over, listening for any clue, any sound they might have missed. They could hear the faint rumble of the car's engine, the slam of the door, Chloe's terrified scream, but nothing that could identify the vehicle or the person who took her. They checked traffic cameras on all the main roads leading to and from Miller Road. But it was a quiet, residential street with few entry points. Hours of footage yielded nothing. No dark car, no suspicious activity. It was a ghost. The public was on high alert. Flyers with Chloe's smiling face were plastered on every telephone pole and storefront window. The community organized search parties, hundreds of volunteers bravely venturing into the woods, calling her name until their voices were hoarse. But day after day, they returned with nothing. Weeks turned into months, and the case grew colder. The initial media frenzy died down, and the flyers began to weather and fade for Chloe's family. However, time stood still. Their hope dwindled, replaced by a gnawing, unbearable uncertainty. The police department insisted the case was still active, but with no new leads, it felt like they were hitting a brick wall. Theories circulated online and in the community. Was it a random abduction? Or did Chloe know her attacker? Some speculated it was someone from the neighborhood, someone who knew her routine, who knew the quiet streets of Miller Road were the perfect place for such a crime. The mystery of the last call from Miller Road became a local legend, a cautionary tale told to teenagers about the dangers of walking home alone at night. But for the people who knew and loved Chloe, it was an open wound that refused to heal. To this day, Chloe's disappearance remains one of the most perplexing unsolved cases in the state's history. Her phone, which captured her final terrifying moments, provided the most crucial piece of evidence, yet offered no answers. It recorded the crime, but not the criminal. What happened to Chloe after her scream? Who was in that dark car on Miller Road? And where did they take her? These are questions that continue to haunt her family, the investigators, and the entire community. The silence on that 911 recording is a chilling reminder of a life interrupted, a story without an ending. If you have any information, no matter how small you think it is, please come forward. Someone out there knows what happened. Someone has the answers that could finally bring Chloe home and close this painful chapter. Thank you for watching. 911. What's your emergency? Hello. Hi, I need someone here. My address is 482 Elm Street, apartment 3B. Please hurry, sir. Can you tell me what's happening? I think someone's in my apartment. I keep hearing whispers. Whispers, can you describe them? It's my name. Just my name. Alex. Over and over. It's faint, but it's there. I've checked everywhere. The closets, under the bed, kitchen, the bathroom. The doors are locked. The windows are shut. I'm alone. I swear I'm alone, but I keep hearing it. Okay, Alex, I'm dispatching a unit to you right now. They're on their way. Can you stay on the line with me? Are you in a safe place? I thought I was. I'm in my living room. I don't know where else to go. It's quiet now, but it's been happening for an hour. It stops, then starts again. It sounds like it's coming from all around me. Sometimes it's from the corner of the room, sometimes it sounds like it's right next to my ear. It's playing with me. Try to stay calm, Alex. The officers are just a few minutes out. Is it a man's voice or a woman's voice? I can't tell. It's hoarse. Just a dry, scratchy whisper. Alex there. Did you hear that? I didn't hear anything, sir. It's just you and me on the line. No, it was there. I heard it. It was closer this time. It sounded like it was coming from the hallway. Oh God, I don't want to move. I'm just staring at the front door. It's locked. The deadbolt is thrown. No one can get in. The officers will be there shortly. They'll do a full sweep of the apartment. Just keep talking to me, okay? Tell me about your day. Anything to keep your mind occupied. My day, I don't know. It was normal. Work, came home. Made dinner. Everything was fine until this started. It's like the walls are talking. This is crazy. I must sound crazy. You don't sound crazy, Alex. This is a frightening situation. We're taking it very seriously. The unit is pulling up to your building now. Thank God. Please, tell them to be careful. I don't know who's here or what they want. The whispering. It stopped again. It always stops when I think I'm about to pinpoint it. It's like it knows. They're entering the building now, Alex. They'll be at your door in just a moment. Just hang on. Okay. I'm trying. It's so quiet now. Too quiet. This is worse. The silence is worse. Alex, what? Alex. I need you to listen to me very carefully. What is it? What's wrong? Are the cops there? Alex, when you said you heard the whisper just now, yeah. I heard it too, you did. So, I'm not crazy. Where did you hear it? On my end of the line, right. From my apartment. No, Alex. What? What do you mean, no? The whisper I heard. It wasn't coming from your apartment. It was perfectly clear. It didn't have any static, no distance. It was right here. On my end. What are you talking about? That's impossible. The whisper. Alex, it came from your phone. It sounded like someone was leaning right over your shoulder. Right into the receiver. No, that's not possible. I'm holding the phone. There's no one. Alex, are you there? Alex, talk to me. What's happening, Alex?